Let that sink in for a moment. It's not matter that creates consciousness. It is consciousness that creates matter. And what are you? If not consciousness having an experience in a body expressing itself through a mind and navigating a world made of matter? Have you ever felt like you are living the same day over and over again? Like you are trapped in a loop, a cycle of familiar thoughts, familiar feelings, and familiar circumstances? You wake up. You feel that familiar dread or anxiety, or maybe just a dull, persistent sense of lack. You think the same thoughts you thought yesterday. You react to the world in the same predictable ways. You love the same people. You resent the same people. You go to the same job. You complain about the same problems. And at the end of the day, you go to sleep, only to wake up and do it all again. This isn't just a feeling. It's a neurological and biological reality. You have, quite literally, mastered the art of being you. But what if the you have mastered is not the real you? What if this personality, this collection of habits, beliefs, and emotional reactions is nothing more than a program? A program you have been running unconsciously for years, decades, even. The truth is, your personality creates your personal reality. And your personality is a byproduct of your past. Think about it. Every significant experience you've ever had, every piece of information you've ever learned, every intense emotion you've ever felt, it's all stored in the vast, electrochemical network of your brain. This is the work of Jot Drive. Joe Dispenza. He teaches us that nerve cells that fire together, wire together. This is HBBS law. When you think a thought, the specific network of neurons fires. When you couple that thought with a powerful emotion, you create a stronger, more lasting connection. You are conditioning your body to become the mind of that emotion. Do this enough times, and the thought process becomes automatic. The emotional reaction becomes a reflex. It becomes a habit. A state of being. This isn't a flaw in your design. It's the very nature of how we learn and adapt. It's how you learn it to walk, to talk, to drive a car. The problem arises when the programs we are running are based on limitation, fear, and survival. The problem is when we become so identified with the program that we forget we are the programmer. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the consciousness that feels those emotions. This collection of automatic programs, this is your old identity. It is the self that is addicted to the past. It constantly scans the environment, looking for evidence to justify its familiar feelings. If you feel unworthy, your mind will seek out experiences that validate that feeling of unworth and ends. It will interpret neutral events as proof of your inadequacy. If you are addicted to anger, you will unconsciously attract situations and people that give you a reason to be angry. Why? Because the body, in its biochemical intelligence, has become addicted to the rush of chemicals associated with these states. An addiction to cortisol, an addiction to adrenaline. It's not a moral failing. It's a biological drive for chemical consistency. Your body literally thinks this state of suffering is its normal baseline. So how do you break free? How do you dissolve this old identity at the most fundamental level, the level of your own neurology? It begins with a single, powerful realization. The realization that you are not the program. You are the observer. You are the quantum observer. In the strange and wonderful world of quantum physics, particles exist in a state of pure potential until they are observed. An electron isn't in one specific place. It exists as a wave of probability, everywhere at once. It is only when consciousness, an observer, looks for it that the wave collapses into a single point, a particle, an event in space-time. What if your life is the same? What if your future isn't a fixed, predetermined path but an infinite field of potential realities, all existing simultaneously as waves of possibility? And what if it is your focus, your awareness, your consciousness that collapses one of those possibilities into your experience of reality? This isn't just a metaphor. This is the new science of personal transformation. You have been observing your life through the lens of your past. Your attention has been locked onto the familiar signals of your old identity. And so, the quantum field has been dutifully and obediently delivering you a reality that matches that observation. To change your life, you must change where you place your attention. You must stop observing your reality from the consciousness of the old self. You must, in essence, stop being that self. This requires you to go from the macro to the micro, from the world of things and people and places to the inner world of energy and frequency. Nikola Tesla famously said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Your old identity has a specific vibrational signature, a frequency composed of your recurring thoughts and chronic emotions. To dissolve it, you must generate a new frequency, a new signature. You must become more energy than matter, more wave than particle. This is the journey we are about to embark on. It is a journey inward. A journey to disconnect from the predictable world and connect with the unpredictable field of infinite possibility. It is the process of unlearning who you thought you were so you can remember who you truly are. It's not about fighting your old self. It's about rendering it irrelevant. It's about building a new neurological network that is so coherent, so powerful that the old one simply withers away from neglect. This is the great work. The work of breaking the habit of being yourself. Are you ready to begin? To truly dissolve the old identity, you must first understand how it was built. It wasn't a single event. It was a process. An unconscious construction project that has been underway for most of your life. Let's become the architects of our own minds and examine the blueprint. The foundation is built on what Dr. Bruce Lipton calls the biology of belief. For decades, science was dominated by the idea of genetic determinism, the belief that our genes dictated our destiny. You were born with a certain set of genes, and they controlled everything from your health to your happiness. You were, in essence, a victim of your heredity. But Dr. Lipton's groundbreaking research in epigenetics shattered this paradigm. Epigenetics literally means control above the genes. What he discovered is that our genes are more like a library of blueprints than a fixed destiny. And the contractor who decides which blueprints get read and which ones stay on the shelf is the environment. But here is the crucial point. The cell's environment is not just the physical world outside of you. It is the chemical soup created by your perception of the world. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, these are the signals that tell your genes what to do. When you feel love, joy, and gratitude, your brain releases a cascade of life, affirming chemicals dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins. This chemical cocktail signals your cells to activate genes for growth, repair, and thriving. When you live in a state of stress, fear, or anger, your brain floods your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This is the chemistry of survival. It signals your cells to shut down growth and activate genes for protection. Genes associated with inflammation, with heart disease, with a suppressed immune system. It's not the genes themselves that cause disease. It's the consciousness that is perceiving the environment that signals the genes. You could have the cancer gene your entire life, but if the signal of fear and stress is never sent to that gene, it may never be expressed. This is not a theory. It is biological fact. So, let's connect the dots. Your recurring, unconscious thoughts and feelings, your old identity, are constantly sending chemical signals throughout your body. You are, through your own perception, programming your genetic expression moment by moment. Living as the old self means you are epigenetically selecting for a reality of limitation and disease. This is the biological prison you have unconsciously built. Now, let's look at the neurological wiring of this prison. As we discussed, when you repeatedly think and feel the same way, you are strengthening specific neural pathways. You are creating what drive. Joe Dispenza calls neural nets. A neural net is a community of neurons that has been wired together to represent a specific belief, a specific skill, or a specific aspect of your personality. You have a neural net for driving your car, a neural net for your political opinions, a neural net for your relationship with your mother. And you have a master neural net for the identity of you. This master program is a collection of all the most practiced, most hardwired thoughts, behaviors, and emotional reactions that you call me. The longer you run this program, the more automatic it becomes. It moves from the conscious mind, the domain of the neocortex, the thinking brain, into the subconscious mind. Bob Proctor describes this subconscious mind as the realm of paradigms. A paradigm is a multitude of habits. It is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. Your paradigm dictates your logic, your use of time, your perception of reality, your effectiveness, your income. It is the silent operating system running in the background of your life. This is why positive thinking alone often fails. You can try to think happy thoughts with your 5% conscious mind all you want. But if the 95% subconscious mind is running a program of unworthiness and lack, which program do you think is going to win? It's like trying to install new software on a computer while the old operating system is still running. The old system will always override it. So the old identity is not just a psychological construct. It is a biological addiction to familiar emotions. It is an epigenetic signal of limitation. And it is a subconscious paradigm that governs your life on autopilot. This is the holy trinity of self-sabotage. The mind, the body, and the program, all perfectly aligned to keep you anchored to your past. Have you ever decided to make a change? Tomorrow, I'll start eating healthy. Tomorrow, I'll stop getting angry. Tomorrow, I'll start my new business. You make the decision with your conscious mind. It feels good. It feels resolute. But then tomorrow comes, and the body starts to crave its familiar chemical hit of sugar, or rage, or procrastination. It sends a signal to the brain, hey, we're off schedule. It's time for our dose of misery. Let's think a thought that will produce that feeling. And the subconscious paradigm cheeks in, whispering its seductive, familiar logic. You can start tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. Who are you trying to kid? Before you know it, you are right back in the old pattern. This isn't weakness. It's a system working perfectly. A system designed to maintain chemical and neurological balance based on the past. To break the habit of being yourself is to declare war on the system. It is to consciously, undeliberately withdraw your attention from the programs of the old self. It is to endure the discomfort of the body crying out for its chemical past. It's to say to your body, you are no longer the mind. I am the mind. Your job is to obey. It is to dive into the operating system of the subconscious and rewrite the code. This is not a passive process. It requires a level of will, intention, and awareness that you may have never accessed before. It requires you to become so conscious of your unconscious thoughts that they no longer run you. You have to observe the program without engaging with it. To see the thought of I'm not good enough arise, and instead of believing it, you simply say, ah. There is the program of unworthiness. That is not me. That is the old self. Each time you do this, you are taking your power back. You are beginning to prune the neural pathways of the old identity. You are removing your energy, your life force, from that circuit. And when a neural circuit is no longer used, it begins to break apart. You are quite literally beginning to dissolve your old identity at a neurological level. Now we move from diagnosis to practice. We have seen the architecture of the prison. Now we learn how to pick the lock. This is where the mystical becomes practical, where spirit meets science. The primary tool for this great ton, doing this sacred dissolution, is meditation. But let's be very clear. This is not the passive, clear your mind type of meditation. This is an active, targeted surgical intervention into your own operating system. The purpose of this meditation is to fold first, to disconnect from the old self, and second, to connect to the new self. Let's explore the first step, disconnection. To disconnect, you must become familiar with the space between your thoughts. You must sit in the darkness of the unknown. When you close your eyes, you are shutting off 80% of the sensory input that keeps your brain tethered to the outer world. You are telling your body, we are not going to focus on the environment anymore. No people, no places, no things. No phone to check. No problem to solve. You are entering the void, the realm of pure consciousness. At first, this will feel incredibly uncomfortable. Why? Because the moment you stop providing external stimuli, the internal programs will get louder. Your body, mind addicted to its familiar emotional states, will start to scream for attention. You'll suddenly remember any mail you forgot to send. You'll feel an itch. Your back will hurt. You'll live an argument from last week. You'll worry about a bill that's due next month. This is not a distraction from the meditation. This is the meditation. Your job is to notice these programs as they arise, to become so aware of them that you are no longer them. When the thought of your boss arises, and the familiar feeling of resentment begins to bubble up, you have reached a critical choice point. The old way was to unconsciously merge with that feeling, to let it become you. The new way is to observe it, to see the thought, to feel the chemical sensation in your body, and to say from the seat of the observer, "This is the program of resentment. I see it, but I am not it." This isn't suppression. This is loving detachment. Every time you successfully do this, you are breaking a neurological connection. You are withholding the energy that circuit needs to survive. You are telling your body that it will no longer be the mind. You are reclaiming your power from the program. You are as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, becoming no body, no one, no thing, nowhere, in no time. You are moving from the particle of your identity to the wave of pure potential. You are entering the quantum field. This is the place where all possibilities exist. The generous present moment. Now for the second, an equally crucial step: reconnection. Creation. Once you have disconnected from the energy of your past, you have a blank slate. You have a brain and body that are primed for new information, new programming. It's not enough to simply stop being the old self. You must begin to be the new self. This is where you move from being a victim of your past to becoming the creator of your future. How do you create a future that doesn't exist yet? You do it through a process that Neville Goddard called assuming the wish fulfilled. You do it through what quantum scientists call collapsing the wave. You must generate the frequency of the reality you wish to experience before you have any physical evidence of it. This requires two things: a clear intention and an elevated emotion. Your intention is the what? It's the blueprint of your desired future. Get specific. Who is this new you? What does their life look like? How do they think? How do they act? How do they feel? You must create a detailed scene, a mental rehearsal of this future self. But a thought alone is just an electrical signal in the brain. It is not enough to attract a new reality. The thought is the charge, but the feeling, the emotion, is the magnet. You must combine your clear intention with an elevated emotion. This is the work of Greg Braden and the Heart Math Institute. They have scientifically measured the power of what they call heart-brain coherence. When you consciously cultivate emotions like gratitude, joy, love, or awe, your heart beats in a beautiful, coherent rhythm. This rhythm sends a powerful electromagnetic signal to every cell in your body, and it sends a coherent signal to your brain. This heart coherence tells the brain to create the chemistry of thriving. It tells your genes to activate the blueprints for health and vitality. And it broadcasts a powerful, coherent energetic signature into the quantum field. Remember, the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. So, in your meditation, as you hold the vision of your future self, you must ask yourself, what would it feel like to be this person? And you must generate that feeling now. Not when you get the money. Not when you find the relationship. not when you heal the body. No. You must feel so much gratitude for your new life that your body begins to believe it has already happened. You must feel so much love for your future that you are literally in love with that destiny. When you do this, you are changing your biology. You are installing new neural networks, as if the event has already occurred. You are epigenetically signaling new genes into action. You are no longer observing your reality from the past. You are observing your future reality into existence. This is not fantasy. This is quantum creation. You are using the same principle that allows an electron to collapse from a wave of potential into a particle of experience. Your coherent thought and emotion is the act of observation. You are selecting your desired destiny from the infinite field of possibilities and drawing it to you. The old self cannot exist in this frequency. The programs of fear, lack, and victimhood are a chaotic, incoherent signal. They are static. The new self, born of clear intention and elevated emotion, is a coherent, powerful signal. It is a symphony. As you practice this day after day, you are literally wiring your brain and conditioning your body to be the mind of your future. You are breaking the habit of being yourself. And you are beginning the beautiful, sacred habit of being your future self. Let's go deeper. We have talked about the brain and the body, the hardware and the biological feedback loop. But now we must address the ghost in the machine. The silent puppet master that dictates the entire show. We are talking about the subconscious mind. What if I told you that who you think you are, your conscious personality, is merely the tip of the iceberg? The conscious mind is the creative mind. It can learn from a book, from a video like this one. It can generate ideas and set intentions. But the subconscious mind is the habit mind. It is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. It is a vast archive of every experience, every belief, every trauma you have ever absorbed, especially from the first 7 years of your life, when your brain was in a theta, wave state of hypnosis. This is the domain of Bob Proctor's paradigms. A paradigm, as he taught, is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And 95% of your life is run by habitual behavior. You consciously desire success, but subconsciously you might be running a paradigm of "I'm not worthy of wealth," learned from a casual comment your parents made when you were 5. You consciously seek a loving relationship, but your paradigm might be love is dangerous, installed after a painful childhood experience. Your paradigm is the lens through which you interpret reality. It's not that you don't see reality. It's that you can only see the reality that your paradigm allows. Any idea that does not conform to your existing paradigm is instantly rejected by your subconscious mind. This is why change is so hard. You are not fighting your circumstances. You are fighting your own internal programming. This is where the profound teachings of Neville Goddard come into play. He was a master of programming the subconscious mind. Neville understood that the subconscious mind does not think in words or logic. It thinks in pictures and feelings. It does not know the difference between an experience that you vividly imagine and an experience that actually happens in the 3D world. This is the key. The master key to liberation. To change the paradigm, You must give the subconscious mind a new experience, a new feeling, a new scene. Neville's technique was simple, yet unspeakably powerful. He called it living in the end. It's not, I will be abundant. It's not, I hope to be healthy. It is the radical declaration, I am. I am are the two most powerful words in creation. Because whatever you attach to I am, your subconscious mind accepts as a command, as a fact. You don't hope for the new identity. You assume it. You walk, talk, think, and feel from the state of your wish already being fulfilled. How does one do this? Neville taught a simple practice. As you are drifting off to sleep, the gateway between the conscious and subconscious mind is most open. This is the moment to impress your new reality upon it. You create a short, simple scene which implies your desire is already a fact. Don't visualize the money falling from the sky. Visualize a friend congratulating you on your success. Feel their handshake. Hear their voice. Feel the thrill of their words, I can't believe how successful you've become. The key is to feel the feeling of that reality. The feeling is the signature that impresses the subconscious. When you consistently feed the subconscious mind this new experience, this new feeling, state, a profound shift begins to occur. The old paradigm, starved of its familiar emotional diet of lack and fear, begins to weaken. The new paradigm, fed by the elevated emotions of your assumption, begins to take root. This is not bypassing your problems. It is dissolving them from the inside out. It's not trying to change the reflection in the mirror. It's changing the person who is looking into the mirror. When you change the inner I am, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new state of being. Abraham Hicks speaks of this as vibrational alignment. You cannot desire one thing and be a vibrational match to its opposite and expect it to come to you. You have to tune your frequency to the channel of the reality you want to experience. Your feelings are your vibrational indicator. How do you feel right now? That is the reality you are creating. If you feel lack, you are on the frequency of lack, and you will only experience more lack. If you can, even for a few moments, generate the feeling of abundance before you see it, you have switched frequencies. You have tuned yourself to the reality of abundance. This is a radical framing of how the world works. It's not I'll believe it when I see it. The truth of the universe is you'll see it when you believe it. And belief is not a thought. Belief is a feeling, a deep cellular knowing. It is the acceptance of your new story. What is the story you have been telling yourself about who you are? I am someone who always struggles. I am unlucky in love. I am not smart enough. These are not truths. They are hypnotic spells you have cast upon yourself. The work is to break the spell. The work is to tell a new story. To fall in love with a new version of yourself. A version that is already whole, already worthy, already powerful. You must stop looking for evidence in your 3D reality that you can change. You must become the evidence. You must be the living, breathing embodiment of your future. When you walk out of your meditation, you don't leave that new self behind. You take it with you. How would the abundant you walk? How would the healthy you breathe? How would the loved you speak to the cashier at the grocery store? You start to act as if. At first, it will feel like you're faking it. The old paradigm will scream in protest. But you persist. You persist in feeling the new reality. You persist in thinking from the end. You persist in telling the new story. And slowly, miraculously, the world begins to conform. The old neurological pathways wither. The old paradigm dissolves. You have not just broken the habit of being yourself. You have consciously, deliberately, unlovingly created a new self from the infinite potential of the quantum field. You have remembered that you are not the clay. You are the sculptor. We have journeyed from the quantum field to the cells of your body. From the neurons in your brain to the paradigms in your subconscious. We have explored the science and the spirit of transformation. Now, we arrive at the destination. But the destination is not a place. It's a new way of being. What does it mean to live as the new self? What happens after you have done the work? After you have meditated, rehearsed and step into your future? The answer is both simple and profound. You let go. You surrender. You have planted the seed in the fertile darkness of the quantum field. You have watered it with elevated emotion. You have given it the light of your focused attention. Now, you must trust the harvest. This is often the hardest part. The conscious mind, the eager, wants to control the how and the when. It wants to dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing. But the quantum field operates on its own timeline. It works through the path of least resistance. It orchestrates events and synchronicities in ways your logical mind could never conceive. Your job is not to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to remain in the state of it having already happened. This is the art of living in the new identity. It's a dance between deliberate creation and profound surrender. You will walk through your day and the old triggers will appear. An annoying driver. A critical comment. A bill in the mail. The old you would have reacted instantly. The predictable firing of old neural circuits. The familiar rush of stress hormones. But the new you, the observer, simply notices. You see the invitation to return to the past, and you politely decline. This isn't a fight. It's a choice. A constant, gentle returning to the frequency of your future. You will start to notice small synchronicities. You'll think of someone, and they'll call. You'll have a question, and the answer will appear in a book or a conversation. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. This is not magic. This is the feedback loop of the universe, confirming that your signal is being received. You are becoming a vibrational match to your destiny. The universe is rearranging itself to reflect your new state of being. Greg Braden calls this the divine matrix, a field of intelligent energy that connects everything. When you introduce a coherent signal of thought and emotion into that matrix, the matrix mirrors it back to you. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. As you continue to live from this new state, your brain will begin to change permanently. The old neural nets of the past self, pruned from lack of use, will fade away. The new neural nets of your future self will become the new default, the new subconscious program. It will no longer feel like you are acting as if. It will simply be who you are. You will wake up one day and realize you don't have to try to feel abundant. You just are. You don't have to work at feeling worthy. You just are. The emotion has become your personality. The state has become your trait. This is the moment of liberation. This is when you have truly broken the habit of being yourself. You have died to the old self so that the new self could be born. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It asks you to trade the certainty of your misery for the uncertainty of your joy. It asks you to believe in what you cannot yet see. It asks you to fall in love with yourself and your potential more than you are in love with your past and your limitations. The ultimate truth is this: you are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused into the beautiful, complex instrument of a human body and mind. You are not here to simply play out a pre-written program of genetic and environmental determinism. You are here to create. To take the energy of the quantum field and mold it into matter. To take the potential of the soul and express it in the world. The old self was a masterpiece of unconscious creation. Imagine what you can build when you create consciously. Imagine the self you can become. Imagine the world you can create. It all begins with this moment. With the choice to stop living your past. With the courage to step into the unknown. With the willingness to dissolve the identity that no longer serves you. Look within. Feel the vast, silent awareness that is reading these words. That awareness is who you really are. It is untouched by your past. It is unlimited by your circumstances. It is pure potential. And it is waiting with infinite patience for you to turn your attention inward and awaken to its power. The journey is yours to take. The power is yours to claim. The future is yours to create. Stop being the memory of the past and start being the vision of the future. The real you is waiting. Thank you for joining us on this powerful journey. If this message inspired you to take control and unlock your true potential, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to grow. Share this video with friends who need this reminder. Together we rise. Remember, your greatest power lies within you, and your breakthrough starts today.